time, and he does both of those things for the right reasons. Well, luckily, we've got his HK trainer, Adam Winch, here, and Adam has a special scenario for him, and you know we're not going to make it easy. All right, Adam, you saw Bill's interview. He's a little too excited. What are we going to do to him?
This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a pretty dynamic scenario. We're going to start out in a bar, and somebody in the bar is going to start just mouthing off to him and really trying to cause a fight. Because the guy is trying to start a fight, if Bill's smart, and he is, he'll probably leave, exiting the bar itself. At that point, our mouthy guy and his buddies now are going to follow him outside and try to instigate another fight. He's going to know what to do with this, but confronted by 4, I think it's going to cause some confusion in him, which is a good thing for such a smart guy to see how he does. And he can either go to pepper sprays, he could go to gun, or he could just beat feet. And I'm really curious what he's going to do.
As am I. Let's see what happens.
Bill is on vacation away from his home in the city. He stops to have a drink at a bar for locals. One of the men takes a liking to Bill. When Bill becomes uneasy with the situation, the room turns on him. Will Bill escape unscathed?
Hi, gentlemen. What can I get you?
Another one of these waters, man.
Oh, what was that? A cop bowl?
Go ahead, man.
Of him? What did you say you wanted?
This iced tea be just fine.
All right. Well, there's a whole jug.
You ain't
for
from around here, are you,
That'll do
Mr.
it.
Fancy Pants?
What's that?
Say you ain't from around here, are you?
No. Surely you like it here, though.
Boy, you got a purty mouth.
All right. That's enough.
What are you pushing on me for, man? What?
Back up!
I'm not doing nothing, do you? You're not a problem, man.
Mike, Mike,
Knock it down.
back up!
Whoa, whoa. What do he do to you, man?
You maced me, man.
Call not
Can't breathe.
Call police.
Eric, sit
Why
down.
don't you leave?
You need to leave.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get.
Get out of here.
Go away.
Get out.
Jeez, pepper spray our guy?
Man.
Jeez.
Get.
What? We can't. Come on.
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun, dude.
He's got a gun.
Back up! You're not supposed to.
Oh, stop. Papa, get him. Papa, he shot JJ. Ah. Ah.
Stay down! Do not move!
You okay?
Nobody move!
I'm dying.
Call 911! Call the police!
Let go of that gun, Papa.
Index.
Okay. So I paused it there, and then I was going to go to the quick analysis with you and Adam, where you guys talk about what you can do differently. It's a real short clip, and then you do it again. Right, Bill?
Yeah, so the format of the show is you do a scenario, you get a little bit of coaching, and hopefully you do it better the next time.
Right.
And so run
Okay.
the scenario again.
So let me skip to that quick and part of that analysis, and then we'll go to, there's a couple of different little parts here. I'm just trying to condense this down for the sake of time here.
Tell you how proud I was to see all the good things you did in here. So let's talk about 2 different options. Okay. When you came out, you took this pathway here, which doesn't give you several things. The things we're always looking for is, and I call them our 4 friends: time, distance, barriers, and an exit. You were taking distance, which oftentimes time and distance equivalate each other, right? They're the same. But there's no barriers. That means you're not putting barriers between you and the bad guy. So let's keep that in mind for the next portion of this. So you're getting time and distance. So as you went, you turned over and you exposed the gun, if you can see it. Then as you turned back, the shirt got caught up, and you gave your back to him for a second before you turned whichever way you went next, okay? So the teachable moment here is that instead of turning this way, you can be more covert and more stealthy with your draw of now instead going to the gun, keeping your eye over your non-dominant side, keeping your dominant side hidden from them. You could even pull the gun until it's time to then maybe turn, and if you have to, drive out and make shots on your bad guy from here. Does that make sense?
Okay, so there's that, and then here's the other one here real quick.
Tools are looking for time, distance, barriers, and exit. And the sooner you do those things, the better. So in this case, you've exited here, they've followed you out. Maybe the best path for time, distance, barriers, and an exit is, instead of going this long way where it's open, is instead threading the needle of these cars quickly, right? So maybe I get on my gun and I watch over my shoulders. I'm quickly moving between the cars. Get back, get back, get back. And now, because this is a lower type of cover and this is a bigger piece of cover, maybe I just on the fly choose this, coming back here. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back.
Okay. And then we run scenario 2, which is down here. Look at me go. So now we're going to run the second scenario and see how you do.
Once again, Bill is trying to wet his whistle at a bar for locals. The room turns on him again, and he's asked to leave. Will he implement his training once he's out of the frying pan and into the fire?
Oh, what a day.
Sir,
A day.
did you say your name is Bill?
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, Bill, you've been causing a few problems here today. Unfortunately, I got to ask you.
Me? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
the whole time he's been causing a
I'm just going to go ahead and ask you to leave, all right? No more issues. Just let's go ahead and take off.
He's giving.
Yeah. Get out, man.
problem.
You're not welcome here.
Yeah. Back up. Back up here.
Hey, man, just leave.
Back up.
Just leave. Just
Back
leave.
up. Back up. Hey, man, what's going on?
We don't.
Back up.
We don't take.
Back up. Do not approach me. What's happening there? Just leave it. I'm going to get in my car and leave. Don't anybody move. What happened?
He sprayed me with something.
What?
Burns.
Hey, come on. Come on inside, man. You probably shouldn't go anywhere. Do not approach me. Back up. What's going on? Where? What happened in there? Why you spray people? Call the police. Call the police. There was trouble inside. Why'd you spray people? What do you do? Call the police. There's trouble inside. 911.
Index, index, index.
Okay, and then the final little conclusion here. This is good stuff. This is really good.
My heart rate goes up just watching it.
Over here.
I'm having
All
flashbacks.
right, Adam, I wasn't in there, but I was outside. Tell us what you saw.
So he was very careful exiting the bar because 2 guys had keyed in on it. Once he got out, he tried to go a different route, but suddenly there was another person there. And he hopped a railing and took off between 2 cars, doing what we talked about before, looking for time, distance, barriers, and exit, which is what he did. That pepper spray flashed out as fast as if he had pulled it from the holster, and he hosed the guy down. And then as others began aggressing towards him, he ran off, giving great verbal commands. Then you put yourself behind cover. So at that point, you had gave great verbal commands, and then I noticed you asked for someone to call 911, which to me tells me you had fought through. You were trying to get other help on the way, so you didn't have to use the firearm. To me, that was a great conclusion to the entire scenario.
We thought you did a great job on both scenarios. We're super glad that you finally got to participate in one of these scenarios because you've seen a bunch.
It's a chest thumper. It really is.
For sure.
So what do you think of that? What was that like being involved in that? That looked pretty cool.
You know, I've done some scenario training before. I was a little nervous about doing it. They've got 200,000 plus viewers for every episode.
Oh, wow.
And everybody on the internet knows everything. They know more than you. You know, and it's just, it opens yourself up to just get critiqued by everybody. And I don't know. I think once it starts, though, you don't even see the cameras. You're in this kind of alternate reality.
Well, I noticed a couple of times you looked over at the camera guys, like making sure they weren't one of the bad
I know,
guys.
like looking for their hands.
Right. Yeah,
I
you
think
were definitely.
yeah, it's interesting to do these. It's like in the back of your mind, it's almost like a lucid dream where you kind of know it's not real, but it's not entirely fake either.
Yeah.
It's interesting to be in, but I really liked watching this. I watched these episodes over and over again. For me, it was like watching game film. I've done scenario training before, but I haven't been able to see the film and study it. I can pick out 100 things wrong that I did in each one of those scenarios. And if you're not going to point them out, I'm not gonna. But those really.
What was that like for you, Adam? Was that was your first time with Gun Talk Media, wasn't it?
Yeah, first time with First Person Defender and Gun Talk Media. First time I got to go down there with Bill. And the interesting thing is, for those in the audience watching this, you should go find First Person Defender or Gun Talk Media and go subscribe to those people on YouTube, right? There's some really instructive things on there. And HK has sponsored a bunch of those with Brian Hill, Bill here, and of course, I've gotten to do a couple too. What the cool thing was, and Bill didn't know this at the time, is when we set this up in the scenario, this was the first time ever in their history, and I think it's 5 or 6 years long, that the final scenario was a de-escalation scenario versus an escalation. In every case, they did a scenario, and it usually went to guns of some type, and then it got far harder and far worse with much more gunfire the next time. And the cool thing is we set this up purposely to make the hardest one the last one, but also the lowest use of force in a sense. And Bill, because he's smart, didn't go to guns because if you can avoid using guns, you should always avoid using guns, right? It's the last consequence. It's the last result. He instead pulled out his palm pepper spray, POM, for those of you looking for good pepper spray. He used palm pepper spray instead to spray down the assailant in this case and de-escalate the situation, which was perfect. And that's the first time in First Person Defender that's ever happened where it was being able to be de-escalated. And one, because he used time, distance, barriers, and exit, because he used good tactics, good verbal cues, and he was able to avoid the fight instead of turning it into more than what should be. So to me, it was a complete success. Bill, you just proved how excellent intelligence and training worked, and it was fantastic.
Well, speaking of our friends at Palm, I can't emphasize enough that I'm a firm believer in carrying a less lethal tool. You can't shoot everybody. There's some people that just need to get anointed. And the great thing is Palm on their website, they'll actually sell you 2 canisters. They'll sell you a pepper spray canister and an inert canister, which basically just sprays water. So if you want to practice that, take it to the range and practice on target, see what kind of a stream it shoots and how far it shoots. And, there's no point having tools if you don't know how to use them.
And furthermore, if you hose somebody down defensively and you've used their product, they'll send you a new one for free, just for the mere fact that you use that.
I didn't know that.
And you can get Palm on Defenders Live's website, just FYI.
I sprayed down a dog. Does that count?
And guess what? You don't have to use a gun. And I'll tell you, using a gun is not that much fun. So I think that's a good thing. But really, in the overall scenario, the fact that you talked them down and used such good technique was brilliant. In fact, Bill, you did exactly opposite of what we thought you would do, and it was better.